The next right, the third right, is the right to education. Our right to education is fundamental, based is a fundamental right based off of the establishment of our nation. If we do not educate, our nation ultimately fails. When we educate, we learn what does not work and we implement what does. That being said, Congress shall pass no law that infringes on an individual's right to educate, but may provide an optional path to education within a nationalized education system. Wow. Wow. I apologize. The air was starting choking. All right. So, when we, I'm going to repeat the last line of what I said. When we educate, we learn what does not work and implement what does. Wow, that's harsh. So Congress shall pass no law that infringes on individuals' right to education, but may provide an optional path to education within the nationalized education system. Something that falls under the right to education is banning books. This is really important. In the last few years, Florida has banned books, and there has been a sort of rolling issue around the nation with this. It's been very controversial, that's for sure. Banning books violates the right to education. Having access to knowledge of various kinds is part of the right to education. There are certain types of materials that I'm sure that we could agree on as a nation to ban, but they are so few. Our students also have the right to decide for themselves what they are interested in and what they want to learn about. This is part of the right to education. The right to education it establishes, the right to education establishes the national education system. An education system designed to be better than any education system currently in existence. The NES defines the rules of every individual involved in the child's education system. It includes updated curriculum from history, science, arts, sports, social studies, psychology, and other basic categories that are necessary for developing a path to success. It also adds mental health and emotional management, self-development, optional religious studies, and more. So much is easily integrated into everyday lessons from an early age. And age-based responses are implemented into early childhood development and education, so even before preschool. The education system is something I believe that real educators can get behind. It goes back to the curriculum from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Education that showed us in social studies the different types of communities that we have, not just in the United States, but around the world, without teaching necessarily religious aspects, but understanding that there are different places where you can learn about the religious aspects. Different things like understanding personal boundaries, understanding what is good touch, what's bad touch, learning all of this stuff from young ages is incredibly important and is going to help our nation, our future generations develop a much better sense of self, a much better sense of success in their own lives, and overall, it's going to improve the chances of our nation succeeding. And again, Congress shall enforce this amendment by appropriate legislation. For today, that is going to be it. Next week, we're going to be talking about one other aspect, and I believe that this is also very important. Adding an article to our Constitution. This article is going to have to do with mostly our voting rights and our voting system, and enshrining in our Constitution the type of system that we want to have. I appreciate everyone joining me today. Thank you all for your time. May our path lead to peace and prosperity. And please have a safe and happy New Year.